Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Wine with Dave. This is August 13th. It's 9 o'clock. And oh, where's my graphic? What did I do with my graphic? There's my graphic. I gotta move it. I gotta move my graphic. There it. Oh no, I gotta unlock. Did I unlock it? Wine with Dave. There it is. It's wine o'clock. See that? I was playing with the graphics. Got too many layers in my life. How about you? Got too many layers in your life? It's wine o'clock. It's going to be wine o'clock for the next 60 minutes. I am excited about tonight. Whenever I have a musician, I get really giddy. Guys like my new wine. Oh, I'm going this way. Like my new wine glass. Wine with Dave. Look at that. Nice and silver. When I'm drinking the red wine, I use the silver. I have another one that's got black. So when I'm drinking white wine. So if you're here for the first time, what I want you to do, if you could be so nice, is to go up to the top and just click on follow. Because likes are good. But when I go live, likes don't tell you that I'm live. But if you click on follow, you can just sit back and relax. You can have so many layers in your life, it won't even matter. Trust me. And all of a sudden, when we go live, ding, you'll see that Dave is live. I've got really cool guests on, and everybody learned something on the show. So I am so excited about tonight. From Alberta, Canada, my guest is on, and I am not even going to tell you his name, although if you've seen the preview, the countdown, you've seen it anyway. Yes. What am I going to talk about? Oh, right over here. See this thing? So it's episode 59. It's August 13th. I did this because some people were telling me, you're spending a lot of time promoting local people, creative people, entrepreneurs, business owners. Dave, you should really get paid for this. So, and I kind of put it off. I really did. I put it off for a while. But I'm like, what the heck? I'm just putting it out there. I don't even know if you're going to pay me $5, $1, whatever. So there's my Venmo. Venmo me at David England. Am I going to make money doing this? I don't know. I am looking for a sponsor. I'm looking for a vineyard. So if anyone out there, and you know who you are, if you know a vineyard owner and you love the wine they make, I would love to be drinking their wine every night on Wine with Dave. Okay? This is a cab. This is a heavy cab tonight. It is delicious. I've been doing this since April 1st, and I don't get sick of it. All right, it's 9:03 now. How do I waste 57 minutes? I'm not going to waste 57 minutes, all right? I'm going to get right into the first segment. So again, just follow me and leave a comment. Tell me where you're from. If you're watching this right now on a page that's other than Wine with Dave, you can leave a comment, but it won't show up on the screen like this. Von Bieker just left something. Wine sponsor. That's the holy grail. See that? He's on the page. He's watching it on the page, and his comment goes up there. So we're going to go to my next segment, and a lot of people like this segment because it's fun. You can win really awesome prizes. I was going to say cash prizes, but it's not. Hey, you got to Venmo me. Maybe I should do that. Maybe if you Venmo me and the account gets big enough, I'll just Venmo the winner back. I don't know. Who knows? You'll win $7 tonight. Our big winner, all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, $7. All right, here we go. You ready for Did You Know? Here's Did You Know. Did you know? Well, actually, you didn't know because that's why I'm saying it. That people in North Korea are legally only allowed to have one of 28 different haircuts. Men and women can choose from 14 different styles. Men get to choose from 14, women choose 14. That's it. That's limiting, huh? I bet you didn't know that. In 1907, a woman was arrested on a beach in Boston. Why, you say? For wearing a one-piece swimsuit. That's interesting. What should you wear? I don't know. 1907. Did you know that humans cannot walk in a straight line without a visual point? When blindfolded, we gradually walk in a circle. That's just what happens. We lean one way or we lean another way. Not to get political, but we do. We lean certain ways when blindfolded. Did you know, even though smoking has been banned on airplanes, ashtrays are mandatory on every plane? Yes. Did you ever wonder that? This is for safe disposal in case someone breaks the law. They still have to have an ashtray. Sal just responded, which piece, top or bottom? I know, huh? Which bathing suit? The top or the middle? They have the middle. Did you know in Greece, women are not legally allowed to wear high heels or tall hats in the Olympic Stadium? Just remember that, ladies. Did you know that selfies now cause more deaths than shark attacks? Selfies. These things. Afraid to go swimming? I'm afraid to go on TikTok. Did you know that Pope Francis used to be a nightclub bouncer? I bet you didn't know that. This is Did You Know? I'm making you smarter. Here we go. I got 3 interactive questions and you got to guess this one. Allodoxophobia is the fear of what? Allodoxophobia is the fear of what? No, it's not the fear of what. It's the fear of something. What is it the fear of? So just type in fear and then equals what you think it is. I've got allodoxophobia. Did you know that dogs can be allergic to humans? Yeah, they can. The U.S. government gave Indiana University $1 million to study something. What was it? Just say study equals, what do you think it is? $1 million, the U.S. government. They wanted to study something. Did you know that most leaves ever found on a clover is blank? There's the third question. Did you know that camel's milk doesn't curdle? Doesn't curdle. And all, not many, not most, but all porcupines float in water. I tried it. All right. And that ends Did You Know? We're going to tally the votes, people. We got some people voting. Come on, people, vote. Got a bunch of people on here live tonight. All right, the first one, allodoxophobia. Allodoxophobia is the fear of what? Let's go through this. Let's see. Von Bieker says tall hats make sense. I support no tall hats in stadiums. There you go, Dave. Sal says the fear of allodoxes. Yeah, that would be too easy. I'm afraid of allodoxes. Oh, then you must have allodoxophobia. No, that's not right. That's not right. And all right. So, and then the other question was the most leaves ever found on a clover. Sal thinks it's 5. No, it's not 5. And then the middle question, the U.S. government gave Indiana University $1 million to study something. What did they give them to study? Anybody? Anybody? Come on. I know I got people watching. I got people watching the show. Let's see. Dave Pickard. Dave Pickard's here. How you doing, buddy? The most leaves ever found on a clover. He thinks 5. Okay, I'm going to give the answers now. I don't know. You know what? I'll wait like 15 seconds. No, 5 is not correct. You can guess again. Yep, 5 leaves. I get that. He said 5 leaves. Yep. Allodoxophobia is the fear of what? Allodoxophobia. Think about it. Allodoxophobia. U.S. government gave Indiana University $1 million to study something. What is that? Indiana. Think about that. And the most leaves ever found on a clover is what? Okay, everybody guessed? Everyone guessed out? I love this answer. Sal said fear of allodoxes. All right, you ready? Allodoxophobia, folks, is the fear of opinions. Is that cool? I like your opinion, but I'm afraid. I've got allodoxophobia. Do you think I have allodoxophobia? What's your opinion? No, don't tell me I have allodoxophobia. I can be funny on the fly, folks. I can do that if I try. All right, U.S. government gave Indiana University $1 million to study memes. $1 million to study memes. Is that crazy? MEMES. The most leaves ever found on a clover. Any guesses? Sal says 5. Dave Pickard, 5. No, 56. They found 56 leaves on a clover. Is that crazy? I got to go over the last 2 here. Camel's milk doesn't curdle. I just want you to remember that. And all porcupines float in water. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, I'm not being cruel to animals, but so I have to preface this. But what if you had about 10 porcupines by a river and you just accidentally, not that you would do this purposefully, but you accidentally kind of punted them and booted them in the water, just kind of kicked them in the water, accidentally, not like you would deliberately do this, just kind of, Tom Brady'd them in the river. They'd be just bobbing up and down, their little spikes. They'd be floating. It wouldn't be cruel, right? Because they could float. They could float. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Guess what today is, folks? Dave Pickard. Sounds like our 2-party system. Yeah, right? Allodoxophobia. Everyone has allodoxophobia on Facebook. The more you say it, the easier it is. Allodoxophobia. Today is. Do you know what today is? Let me look for this. Today is this. Today is National Prosecco Day. Yes, Prosecco. I just found out about that tonight. Yes, crash course in sparkling wine for beginners. Prosecco is the Italian version of sparkling wine. It's a sparkling wine. Prosecco is made from a variety of grapes. One of the oldest is Glera. However, Prosecco can also be made from Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, and Pinot Noir. Primarily grown and bottled in the Veneto region of Italy, Prosecco's draw is its elegant mousse. In wine speak, mousse is the lovely persistent bubbles. These bubbles give Prosecco the sparkle that makes it so appealing for celebrations. Along with that touch of sweetness, usually dry, and light-bodied, refreshing aromas, Prosecco exudes an easygoing sense of fun. I did not write this. Flavors of white spring flowers, citrus fruits, and green apples, paired with a wallet-friendly price tag that places Prosecco in the right place for any celebration. I lift a glass I gotta move this out of the way. I lift a glass for National Prosecco Day. Go ahead and celebrate Wine with Dave. If you have any Prosecco, type that in the comments. If you happen to have a bottle of Prosecco hanging around, I have never tried it, but I can't wait to look at its springy flowers and its mousse. I did not know the mousse was the bubbles in the Prosecco. Mousse. Do mousse float? They do if it's in Prosecco. Hey, what else is happening today? A lot of things are happening today. How about this guy? Huh? How about that guy? Yes, today is Alfred Hitchcock's birthday, August 13, 1899. English film director, producer, screenwriter. He is one of the most influential and extensively studied filmmakers in the history of cinema. Known as the master of suspense. I love Hitchcock. He is the coolest. Directed over 50 feature films in a career spanning 6 decades, becoming as well known as any of his actors, thanks to his many interviews and his cameo roles. I think he's in almost every one of his films, except one. In most of his films, and his hosting and producing of the television anthology Alfred Hitchcock Presents. That was from 1955 to 1965. Folks, if you are bored with the pandemic and you just got to watch a show or you just need to tune into something, turn on to Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Great show. His films garnered a total of 46 Oscar nominations and 6 wins. That's almost as many Oscar nominations as petals on a clover, if you've been listening. All right, we'll take him out. We're going to take him out. This one I'm really excited about, and I think he's listening tonight. Born on this day. Yeah, baby. Look at that guy. Look at that face. Sal Sorko, my partner at England Studio. Sal has been helping companies overcome their marketing challenges since 2001. As owner and lead technologist for Pro Systems, he was instrumental in assisting businesses with connecting to their customers. And then he went on to be the chief marketing officer at Blue Sky Group. Sal worked with local national companies such as Benjamin Moore, Unilock, Cilantro Mex, and Waltz International to create innovative and effective marketing campaigns. In many cases, these campaigns resulted in the transformation of these brands and contributed in a major way to their growth and customer engagement. He is a wealth of knowledge. He puts me in my place. He kind of put me in my place today. Not many people can do that, and I appreciate that, and he knows it. And if he doesn't know it, he knows it now. Great guy, good friend, loyal. He's my partner in England Studio. Sal holds an MBA from Bryant University, has received honors for his marketing and leadership skills from nonprofits, ranging from IBMA to the Boy Scouts of America. And so I have a gift for Sal. Not a gift. I don't have a gift. I have a GIF, a GIF. Are you ready? Boom! This photo that was taken at the marketing camp last year happens to have Sal just kind of holding his fingers in such a way that I knew eventually his birthday would come up and I would turn it into a transparent ping and his fingers would have to be holding something. And guess what? It would be holding a purple balloon. Why? Because he's royalty. What do you think of that? Sal, happy birthday. I raise a glass to you, my friend. Albeit a blurry glass, still a glass. That was good. Get rid of him. Happy birthday, my friend. All right. Next week, my guest is metal and wood craftsman Jeff Chappell. But tonight, you are in for a treat. You guys like music? Do you like singer-songwriters? Do you like quirky? Do you like bow ties? Do you like electric guitars? Whoa, what did you say, Dave? Bow ties? Yeah. I said bow ties. This wine is really good, dude. Oh, my God. Oh. Wow. I am feeling it. I am feeling it. This is really good wine. You're in for a treat tonight. My guest is Dave Von Bieker from Alberta, Canada. Edmonton, specifically. 2-hour difference. It is 7:19 right there. Von Bieker plays bow tie rock to haunt your heart. His songs juxtapose hope with despair, past with present, love with fear, faith with doubt. Gentle folk crooning with a raw and honest howl. In Von Bieker's soundscape, the earnest retro charm of a bow tie meets the world-worn grit of rock and roll. Retro guitar twang channels resonant writing through a voice often pushed until it cracks into free fall falsetto. Von Bieker is also the son of a taxidermist and a milkman. Check it out.
Oh, be good to my heart. Be good to my heart. Please be good to my heart. You know it's been broken before. If I let them nail these heads, will that help you to understand? If I let them run me through, will that be enough for you to know that I'm not going anywhere? I'm not going anywhere, child, without you.
Dave Von Bieker, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Nice.
I'm wishing I had brought Prosecco with me.
You should have brought Prosecco, exactly. Do they sell Prosecco in Alberta?
Oh, they sure do. All manner. We have Costco here, and you can get some good discount Prosecco there.
So you can buy wine in a store, but we can't do that in Rhode Island. We have to go to a liquor store. Can you get that where you go supermarket shopping?
No, same here. Same here. Costco has a separate liquor store here, so yeah.
Nice. So can you move over to the right just about 2.5 inches? Right? Yeah, 2 3/4.
This
two
direction?
1/4, 2 1/8. Yeah, you're right in the middle. Perfect.
Okay.
That bow tie, man. We're going to talk about that. I'm starting to think about wearing a bow tie myself. So odd.
Mm-hmm.
It's
good. A little tight on the neck, though. Not so good in the summer.
Yeah, I know, but it's just styling, you know. It's you leave an impression. You're a very fashion plate kind of guy. So that's a great song. Whose idea was it to film in a bowling alley?
It was my idea. It's one of my favorite spots. That's a bowling alley in Edmonton here, and I had actually written an article on them because it's a 3-generation family-run business, and they have not redone everything in there is original since I think 1956 or 57.
Right.
So it's just this killer kind of retro vibe in there, and I became friends with the owners. So
you couldn't pay for that kind of a prop. I mean, the bowling balls, the lanes, everything is just the close-up shots. You know, the B-roll footage in there is like, oh my gosh, what was the budget for that? Like $7?
Well, I didn't have to pay for the props, which is good. I did have to pay for the production, but I got a good deal because it was a early project for the person who was doing it. So one of those portfolio pieces. So yeah, it worked out well.
There you go. Yep. You can. Yeah, I can't afford to pay you, but it'll be great in your portfolio.
That's right. That's right.
Good. That's good that you do that. That you support the arts. Kind of.
Kind of. That's right. That's right. And
no, it came out.
Back.
It came out really good, and tell your videographer, I think he did a great job.
Thanks, Dave.
I do videography and design and all that, and that was really good. And you know, that was for those of you out there, that was just a portion of it, probably half the song. Go out there to vonbieker.com, and you'll see all of Dave's videos. Just dive in. Great guy, very creative. So tell me about the music that formed you as a musician and as a songwriter. What did you grow up with?
Sure. So I kind of had this hodgepodge of different music growing up. Probably when I got my first tape that I ever bought, I remember, was at it would have been like, it was called Zellers, which is a Canadian chain, but it would have been like Kmart in the States. And I remember tapes used to come in these really tall plastic cases that were like 3 times the height of the tape itself. I think so people wouldn't steal them.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I bought Michael Jackson's Bad with my own money. It was $8, and took that home and wore it out. So I was big, kind of started there in like 80s pop.
Yeah.
So I've taken that with me. I just love an 80s hook. The song, those songs, you just can't beat those hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my mom was, as I grew up, my parents were listening to oldies, so I grew up with a lot of that stuff as well, and kind of folded that in. And then my biggest music personally was kind of the alt rock scene in the 90s. So I remember when Weezer came out with the Blue album, I probably still can sing every word from that album start to finish. And Radiohead was huge when they came out too. I remember OK Computer just blew my mind. So.
Oh yeah, that was the Sgt. Pepper's of that indie alt post punk rock. That was crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Kid
it was
A.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Nice. So that's what you got into. So I mean, listening to Radiohead, I mean, you must have developed a good ear for melody and chord changes and all that. That kind of seeped into your music.
Yeah, totally. And kind of those kind of offbeat. I liked one of the things that they did that I liked was these melodies that would unfold. You had to listen to, like more than a bar before you could get the full melody. It would kind of unfold over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, just the way it would kind of, the first time you're hearing the song, it would be unpredictable. And so hopefully I've, pulled some of that into some of my writing.
I think
that
you
and
have,
Tom York's
yeah.
falsetto.
I often thought REM was good at that. Every album they came out with, I never wrapped my mind around it. It was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you listen to it again, you're like, it was very organic. It wasn't super catchy. And then the melodies started to just resonate. It took a while to settle in. But you definitely are a craftsman with songwriting, and you very, very careful with melody. I've listened to a lot of your stuff today in the last few days. So you're good.
Thanks,
you're a good guy. You get it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think those melodies that have to kind of worm their way in. Like often when I would buy a CD, the Radiohead is why you buy it, right? But that often becomes the song that I like the least over time because it just gets played out so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff that kind of gives itself to you over time, that's my favorite for sure.
There you go. What music are you excited about now? What are you listening to these days?
I've been getting into a lot of I've been doing a lot of home recording with COVID going on and stuff. So I've been getting a lot into listening to a lot of production on songs. So there's Phoebe Bridgers came out with an album recently that's it has a lot of these kind of lo-fi kind of sounds on it. And there's another guy from, if you've never heard him, you got to look him up. His name's Andy Schaaf. He's from just the province over from me, Saskatchewan. And it's all this kind of like psychedelic, but also really dry, kind of that dry 70s kind of.
Yeah. Dry drum sound. What's his name?
Yeah, dry drums.
I'm writing it down now.
Andy Schaaf, yeah.
How do you spell that?
Really cool production.
S-H?
S-H-A-U-F. Yeah, Andy, S-H-A-U-F.
Andy Schaaf. I'll look him up. But enough of Andy. We're talking about you. But that's good. Right. The lo-fi stuff. I mean, you've got the mojo going with your old guitar there. I mean, if you want to show us that guitar, that'd be pretty cool too. But I love that, like slightly out of tune. It's got a little bend to it. It can kind of get wobbly a bit. It's not super clean like a Les Paul. I mean, your stuff is really organic and just pure. It's just perfect for the songwriting you do.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you can pick up on that. I can show you the guitar now if you like.
Let's. Yeah, absolutely. Turn it right around and grab that thing. Look at that.
Yeah, so this is, I'll try and bring it in frame here so you can see it. So this is Silvertone.
Nice.
I had a remake of this guitar. They make a new one of this by Dan Electro. And then I saw the original come up on Facebook Marketplace, and I had to have it, even though I had to ship it hundreds of miles, and I was terrified that it wouldn't all show up in one piece, but it did.
Did it come with the case that has the speaker in it?
It did not, sadly.
Oh,
It did not come with the amp case. I've seen one in person. I saw someone else in town has one, and it was pretty cool. It has a cool sound to it too.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of it's got a little bit of a telly sound to it, right? But it's just, the notes are very, like if you strum a chord, I've only played one once, you could hear every single note as you're playing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
very,
blend like a Gibson Les Paul. It's more of a Strat telly kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. I think it's probably most similar maybe to a telly, but it's just super, even not plugged in. It's just this super jangly kind of tone because it's hollow and it's actually just made out of like melamine. Like
Yeah.
I always tell people it's just the crappiest as
Yeah.
far as, you would literally order this guitar from the Sears catalog. If people don't know Silvertones,
Right,
that's
right.
where you would have bought this in 63, is you would have probably showed up under some kid's Christmas tree on Christmas morning from the Sears catalog.
I
Oh, and
think.
I got to show you these tuning heads because they're crazy.
Oh yes, yes, yes. We talked about that,
So I'm
right?
gonna try and I don't know if it'll go in focus or
Yeah,
not.
that's
but
pretty blurry. Pull it back to your face. Yeah.
is
So
that
now
any
you're
better?
calling these like Soviet era.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's just kind of this big chunk of metal just slapped on there, and there's no, like you were saying earlier, there's no aesthetic consideration. It's just
None.
this is yeah, and they tune backwards actually, which is the
Really?
weirdest thing. Yeah. So yeah, and then the pickups came out of old. They call them lipstick pickups, right? Because they're literally made out of discarded lipstick tubes or lipstick canisters or whatever.
See, I didn't know that. I knew they were called lipstick pickups, but I didn't know it was because it was discarded actual lipstick. I thought it was just because it
Yep.
looked like that. What is
No,
the
I
pick?
think the
the pick-
original ones were.
Yeah, the pick guard is it pretty thick pick guard?
It's pretty thick. Yeah, it's just like it's basically exactly like a sheet of melamine if you went and bought a sheet of melamine from the hardware store. That's basically all it is. Plastic and
Nice.
melamine, lots of glue in this thing.
That is so cool. I love that. So speaking of the guitar you're playing, you're a solo performer, but mostly electric. So why electric and not acoustic? Is it just you just feeling it better? Is it a better vibe?
Yeah, I like the range of an electric in that you can really drive it. If you dig into it, you can drive it and get that grit. There's a lot of dynamics, especially if you're playing through, a tube amp and things like that. You can just eke a lot of dynamics out of it. You can put effects on acoustic too, but I just like the level of. I'm a really dynamic performer, so I like the sound to match the words and kind of where we're going with the song. So I find electric gives me a lot of that ability.
Yeah, true. Acoustic, if you want to really dig in, you just have to play heavy rhythm. Where electric, you could finger pick it hard and snap it and kind of get a little funky with it, and then it jumps out at you. So, which brings me to another question. Been in a band before? Is it band's not working for you? You don't like people? What's going on with that?
There's a few reasons, but most of them are just practical. I actually was in a band recently, and I really enjoyed it, but just the I've got two teenagers at home, and still not done all the parenting responsibilities and all that. So band takes a lot of time, and money and all that stuff. So I love, when you get really practice with the band and you just get ready for that moment where there's a kind of a break and you all come back in on a lyric or on a chord. I love that feeling when everybody's just right with you at the right moment.
Right, right.
There's no feeling like that. But it takes a lot of work to get there. and I haven't been able to get there very many times. Although I do have a three-piece that I'm playing with now, uh, and we booked a bunch of shows just before COVID hit. So hopefully I'll be playing more with my three-piece after that. We're called the Small Von Bieker and the Small Tones.
Nice, Von Bieker and the Small Tones. Yeah, that's cool. So, and I'm sure that's something that, like, in the moment when you're playing a song, you might be feeling like, you know what, the next verse is coming up. I am going to barely touch these notes in the chord. I really want to bring it right down. You can't do that when you got a trio or a quartet, because you can't tell them, guys, quiet this one down. Where if you're a solo performer, you can kind of do that, right? Is that what you're feeling?
I think that's part of it. It's not just like sometimes I feel like I'm a bit of a control freak when I say that, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just that I feel the music so intensely, like I'm really a part of it when I'm playing a song. And yeah, like I say, there are bands that can do that for sure. I think the best bands do that really well. I know like Van Morrison has been playing with the same guys for decades, and I think that's probably why. Because, pardon me, I think when they're ready to go somewhere, it's like they share a brain at that point, right? You get on the same wavelength, and you can do that.
Dylan's like that. I mean, he's been on the same tour. He really has never stopped touring. He's on a consistent tour for like 15 years. He'll take 2 weeks off, go, and then 2 days off, then 2 weeks off, and then two. I mean, it's consistent. Same musician. Yeah. So that's a good point you brought up. The band becomes the brain of the guy that's leading it. And yeah, that's a cool thing. Favorite memory playing live?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I definitely have one of these, and it wasn't that long ago. I have kind of a country waltz song that I wrote for my wife, because my wife's not a big dancer, but she will dance with me at weddings, which I've always thought was a great sacrifice on her part, because I enjoy dancing. So I wrote this country waltz song for her, but it was, and I would play it, and it's kind of the thing where you go and you ask people for participation. If you guys want to sing along, this is when you do it. And there's a few people that really get into it, and everybody else maybe doesn't. So with my, I had this song, and I'm always asking people to come up and dance, and usually, like with everything else, they don't, or one person does or whatever. And I was playing this. I got asked to play this 40-year wedding anniversary gig. It was just a small private gig, and I had kind of gone through all my material. The weather was turning really bad outside, so they were ending early. They're like, we're just gonna wrap up if that's okay. And I had one set left that I hadn't played, and I said okay, but I didn't have a chance to kind of say goodbye to everybody and do a send off. So I said, if it's okay, I'll just do one more song, and then I'll kind of say goodbye. And so I had forgotten about this song, and it just came to me right in that moment, like this is the time, this is the song I need to play. So I went up and played this song. It's called Move With Me, and like I say, it's like a country waltz. And this couple that I was playing for, they love old country, and so it was just perfect. And it's like as soon as I started, someone stopped. So it was like, wait, they haven't had their wedding dance yet. And so everybody cleared out of the floor, and this couple in their 60s came out and just did the most beautiful kind of country waltz while I played this song, and we were all tearing up a little bit, and it was just beautiful. As a songwriter, like that's kind of the moment I live for, is where you can make a connection that's a little bit deeper than all the sum of the parts. So
that's a beautiful story. So you wrote this song, and then they're dancing to it.
Yeah, and of course, you don't know any of that when you're writing the song. You don't know what you're really writing it for. You're just kind of channeling something. But I felt like that was one of those moments where it's like, I may never have a moment as good with this song again, and I don't need it. Like, this song has kind of fulfilled its highest calling now.
Wow. So. That is cool. If you're just tuning in, this is Dave Von Bieker, singer, songwriter, bow tie lover, and we're getting there. We're going to talk about bow ties in a few minutes. From Alberta, Canada. He's there right now. Edmonton. Edmonton, a big town, huh? Big city or like a town?
We're about 1 million. Yeah, pretty big.
Whoa. You're like Rhode Island.
Yeah, we're I could rattle off a bunch of boring, but we are I think the largest, most northernmost city in the world, I believe. We're very far north.
Very far
So
north,
if you
yeah.
take size plus northness, I think that's our claim to fame.
Yeah, because the most northern European city is Reykjavik in Iceland, which I was at. I love it. That's only 150, 160,000. So you've got 10 times that. That's awesome. Dave Van Bieker,
Yeah,
so
I
glad
mean,
you came on tonight. Just moving right along. How has the pandemic changed your music and your career? Has it changed your songwriting? Are you writing new music now that you've got some time?
yeah, I started writing. I think a lot of us musicians were trying to figure out ways to process what was going on. And of course, the day I played a gig like the day before everything kind of locked down, and then then we all know what happened. So it was kind of, you're stuck in your house. I haven't been able to, pardon me, I haven't been able to practice with my band since then. So it's just been me and my guitar and writing songs and trying to process. For me, song is always a way to work through things, always a way to process what's happening to me. So I ended up writing, I've got basically a whole EP of songs that came out of the pandemic, about 5 different songs that I've written since this all
Really?
started. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Um,
which it's been good. I'm glad glad to get something out of all this time.
yeah, well, Sal, he's a well respected musician, just said, love your music, Dave.
Oh,
So,
thanks, Sal. Thanks so much.
and he also said, I'll raise my glass to you, Dave. But I
Awesome.
think he means me because
Yeah.
because
Well,
I
he can
raised
raise
my
his glass to both of us. I'm pro Dave, any Dave.
any Dave. You know when Facebook started? Let me just digress for a second. When Facebook started, I found out that you could create a group. It wasn't just peer to peer. I'm like,
Right.
ooh, what do I create? So I created the Dave group, and
Well,
that
I
was
had
in like I don't what year. It's like 1956. I started. No, I don't know what year it was, but like Facebook was only out for like a year and a half or 2 years. I was
yeah.
probably. I'm not patting myself on the back, seriously, but I think I was one of the only few people of all my friends that joined Facebook right away. A friend in Boston told me about it, and they're like, it's like a college thing, but you should get on it. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not in college, and I don't need to connect with college. Like, no, just do it because you can meet other people. I'm like, all right, I'm interested in people. Boom, I did it. And then Facebook just, boom, $190 zillion company.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
were
I
onto
started the
something there.
Dave group. It's still there. You can join it if you want.
I was part of the Dave Club when I was in college. So there were, I think, 5 or 6 of us in the Dave Club. We only had about 150 people in the whole school, so it was a significant Dave contingent.
That's cool. So you know what my first post was? And I remember this clearly. My first post in the Dave group was Dave or David? Question mark. And so people had to respond. And I only accepted Dave's in the group. Like if you were
Mm,
Jerry, it's like, no, you're not. Nope. Check them off.
yeah,
So Dave or David.
as
And
you
to me,
should.
it's both. It's Dave. My mom would get mad at me. I was David, but I'm pretty much Dave. How about you growing up? Were you always a Dave or David?
Well, okay, so this is funny. I have 2 brothers named Dave. Um, so
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Why did
I'll
this not
explain.
come up when we first talked about questions to ask?
Well, okay, so quick explanation. It's divorce and remarriage and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
I have a
okay.
stepbrother by my dad's second marriage who's a Dave. So that's the first one. And then my wife's brother's name is Dave, so that's a brother-in-law. So so I ended up with two brothers named Dave. So I've been around Daves all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was younger, that's one of the way they differentiated is my stepbrother was Dave and then I was David. So when I was old enough, I took Dave for myself.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think of David as the angry name, just like you.
you're probably the more famous one, so the famous one can claim it. You know? They're not playing bowling alleys. Screw it. You get Dave.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Cheers
right.
to that.
Yes. Bowling alleys makes you claim your name. Not that, you're playing bowling alleys. That was just a video. And if you're just tuning in, this is Wine with Dave, and I am with Dave Von Bieker. VonBieker.com. Go there, check out all his music. It's awesome. Really good. If you like that lo-fi, gritty, emotional songwriting, that's what it's all about. Dave, I'm going to play Broken Can Fix Broken. It's one of your songs. Do you mind if I play that right now?
No, go right ahead.
And then I want to be able to talk about that. So everybody hold on. It's only like a minute and 20 seconds, and then Dave is going to talk about that. All right? Check this out.
You were mysterious and beguiling, the queen of Coney Island, and your magic looked a lot like the truth. You lay back on that bed of nails, my life was so far off the rails. I thought that you could be the one to pull me through. 'Cause broken can fix broken, the blind can lead the blind. Just depends on where you're going and what you hope to find.
All right, Broken Can Fix Broken. That was just a part of the song. First of all, beautiful song. And I love the irony in that, because broken can't fix broken, but you're claiming it can. Blind can't lead the blind, but you're claiming it can. I just love that stuff. I love when a song makes you think about, wow, where's this going? And then you wrap it up at the very last line of the chorus. Tell me about that. Did that just come to you in your sleep or what? Because that was beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, some songs do that, right? They come and you're like, oh, thank goodness, that was a gift. So that was one of those lines for sure. My family and I, 3 or 4 years ago, we went to New York for the summer, and for some reason, I really wanted to go to Coney Island. I'd been to New York once before, but never been to Coney Island. But I love kind of retro and quirky things, and I thought something here is going to speak to me. So we ended up at Coney Island at the Sideshow by the Seashore, which I think is one of the longest running circus sideshows in the world. Mm-hmm. It was their first day of the season, and it was Sunday morning. It was also Easter Sunday, and it was April Fool's Day that day. So it was this triple whammy weird day to be at a circus sideshow. Right, so we sat through that sideshow, and I ended up writing 2 songs that came out as an EP out of that experience. But this one was imagining there was this weird kind of draw to these circus performers that I had, and I wanted to kind of explore that. So I imagined myself as a guy coming to this sideshow and falling in love with the sword swallowing lady, and whether that would be a stable relationship or living with someone who's traveling around a whole bunch and doing risky daredevil-y things, whether that would be stable or what that relationship would look like. So it ended up, in my mind, becoming this song about people that are kind of looking to the other person to fix them, and looking to the other person to save them, and whether that ever works out, or whether it kind of compounds the wounds. So. And I don't know that I answered the question in the song, because I don't know that I have an answer. I think I'd like to believe it to be true, but certainly I've seen lots of examples to the contrary. So,
well, I like it, and I'm not going to give it away. You got to just listen to it, guys. Just listen to that song. Go to let me turn on your Let me turn on that. I turned that off for the video. VonBieker.com. Look it up. It's a great song. And you almost answer it, but it's still vague. And, I love that, where you allow the theater of the mind of the listener. They have to kind of imagine what it's about, what the answer is. But it's great. I just really love that. Broken can fix broken.
Yeah, I should say quick too, because I'm bad at self-promotion sometimes. If you go to my website, you can actually get that song and the other song. It's just called Coney Island. Just sign up for my newsletter and you'll get both those songs for free, actually. So if you like that song, you can have a copy of it that you can listen to when you're not on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Do that. I'm serious. That's why I'm doing this show. I'm trying to promote people, My gosh. Go to that website and just sign up for his newsletter. Do whatever you have to do. Give him what you got to give him. Get that song. That was ringing in my head for a long time. That was a beautifully written song. Sometimes I feel like songs they're already written. They're already out there. I mean, there's classic songs that are just kind of hanging in the ether. But it takes someone to just kind of wake up with the melody and connect with it and just like, I got to grab a guitar and just like get the melody and add some piano and whatever and just mallets on a drum and just get it recorded and then produce it, and there it is. Bridge over troubled water, Imagine that. Before Paul Simon wrote that, it was like that song kind of already existed. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I've often thought of that, where you hear a classic song and you're thinking, okay, so, before, I don't know when that song came out, 60 whatever, but
69, 68, I don't know, 68.
Yeah, and before that song didn't exist. Like,
it did not exist, yeah.
The song Imagine, the John Lennon song Imagine, there was a time where that song didn't exist. It's crazy to think of that.
Yeah, just prior to that was not anywhere on the planet Earth. Just was not. But I think it was there. It was just waiting to kind of be the right chords, the right melody, the right artist to just kind of pull it together. And so that fascinates me as a songwriter. So good job. I mean, that's a great song. Okay, the bow tie. I want to know, what the heck is up with your bow tie? And why do you think that's cool? I'm kidding. I think it's cool.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's kind of so you're kind of onto the answer, I think, because for me it's kind of anti-cool. It's kind of the anti-cool, because I've always had this hard time, and coming back to being a musician, I've always played music, but I decided to more seriously pursue a career doing it just a few years ago. So I was like, I just turned 40. I was like 36 at the time. And I was going out to these open mics and events where everybody was 15 years younger than me, 10 years younger than me. And I felt like, oh man, I just feel so out of place in these places. And, you have kind of the rock and roll pose and the way you're supposed to look aloof and represent yourself as an artist that's cool. And, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just felt so not that.
Right.
And I kind of liked wearing bow ties to some extent and ties and stuff anyways. I never got to do it, but I thought this is like the perfect way to disarm an audience when I walk in, and it's like, I'm not taking myself too seriously. Like whatever way people want to, say I'm not cool or whatever, I'm going to say it first and say I'm the nerd with the guitar on stage with the bow tie. Let's get past that and play some music.
Let's get past that. Can we agree to get past that?
Yeah.
Sal is asking, forget the bow tie. How about that shirt? And where can I get one? Dude, you've got a black and white print of tigers, and you've got a vertical striped burgundy and white tie. You are
this
bold.
tiger shirt was pre-Tiger King, Dave. This was before Tiger King was a thing, so I somehow predicted the future.
You did, huh? I finally watched that whole series, and it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
But it made me realize that as human beings, we're messed up. But
see, I think Broken Can Fix Broken could just as easily been a song about the characters in Tiger King, actually.
Oh, mic drop. Dave Von Bieker just dropped a mic. Oh,
That's right.
man.
That's right.
Yeah.
I will say just quick about the bow ties, Dave. I started just wearing, any bow tie, and I won't show you because I have to move the camera, but I have about 30 of them mounted on my wall now that I can pick
Do you
for
really?
any different shirt or whatever. But I started to move towards specifically these kind of 60s retro bow ties. So this one is, and a lot of them are clip-ons because for some reason in the 50s, 60s, they were all clip-on bow ties.
Oh, okay.
So I collect them from thrift stores and stuff now. And since that, I've really noticed going back through classic music, like 50s and 60s music, is that rock and rollers were wearing bow ties all the time. Back then, it was a
Really?
big thing. Yeah, like you look up a lot of like old albums, like Buddy Holly and those guys would be an example, but you'll find even like Johnny Cash wearing bow ties in photos and stuff. It was pretty common in rock
Did not
music.
know that. The only
Yeah.
guy that I knew that was pre-rock and roll that wore a bow tie was Nat King Cole.
Yep.
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 Crooner. But
Yep.
I'm going to have to look that up then. Not that I doubt you, but I'm going to look that up. That's interesting.
It's one of
So,
those things you have to see to believe.
so these guitar players have all these guitar stands with all their double neck Gibson what do you have, like a bow tie rack on stage where you're like, I'm going to pick that one and just kind of like, just put it on?
I should have.
So you're married, right?
I am, yeah.
Is your wife jealous that you're just so dapper?
She's pretty dapper herself, so I think we go together well.
Tell me about that opening song when I introduced you in the bowling alley.
Right.
Don't hurt my heart. No. What's
Be
that?
good to my heart.
Be good to my heart. I'm sorry. Who's singing that with you?
Her name's Laura Joel, so she's a fantastic artist here in Edmonton as well, who I've got to sing and play with lots of times.
Nice. Yeah, she was beautiful. That was great. You're working on a new album, Dave. Let's talk about that. How is it
slogging
different?
away.
How is it progressing? Are you done? Are you near done?
Yeah, it's getting near done. My wife asked me what I wanted for my birthday a few weeks ago, and I said, I thought about it for a while and thought if I should be honest, and then I said, what I would really like is for you and the kids to leave me alone for 3 days. Because since the pandemic has started, you work from home, and all of a sudden everybody is in your office all the time.
Yeah.
The kids were not going to school and all that stuff. So it was really hard I'd started this project back in the spring, and then it became really hard to finish. So I made really good use of those 3 days, and I did work on 9 songs over those 3 days. I didn't finish all 9, but I actually did significant work on 9 songs during those 3 days. And I just finished mixing the first single today, so that'll be coming out in the next few weeks sometime here.
What's the name of that one?
That's called Places We Can't Live, which is also the name of the album.
Places We Can't Live. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been thinking a lot about it now that, it's kind of I have all these different songs I've written from places I've been, like Coney Island, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Vancouver, just different places I've collected these kind of images and experiences from. And I often think when you're I don't know if there's a place that's equivalent in Rhode Island, but in Edmonton, everybody eventually leaves and moves to Vancouver, because Edmonton is just, it's not the place you stay, it's like the place you start, then you go on and move somewhere else. And I'm staying, I think, for quite a while longer, if not forever. But most people, we just watched all of our friends one by one move off to the coast because, and I would always say, to me, it was like Vancouver is just like that really, sexy girl at the party that everybody's drawn to, but she's never going to treat you right. She's never going to love you back.
The Vancouver girl. You know what the Vancouver is of Rhode Island? It's Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, people just, when they leave Rhode Island and I'm done with Rhode Island, the next word that they say is, Florida, here I come. So
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
They leave Edmonton, they leave Alberta to go to Van. So what about Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan is even flatter than it is here. It's just prairie.
Yeah.
Basically, we got to drive. If you if you're going east, to get to Toronto, which would be the next kind of major big city,
Yep.
it's like I don't even know. It's like in the 20s of hours. Like it's maybe 30 hours. It's a long, long drive.
So it's not like
So
15 minutes to get to Quebec from you.
no.
Oh,
It
I
would
know.
take me
I'm kidding.
2 solid days. I'm
Canada
glad you know
is
it. I'm glad
huge. It's huge. I don't know much
it is
about
huge.
Canada. Only the Quebec area, the Niagara Falls, and then you go west. I'm like, it's just a lot of space on the map. I don't
It's
study it out.
It's a lot. It's a lot of space in real life too. It's like going through Montana or Wyoming or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it kind of picks up and bunches up again as you get to the coast. So, yeah. Anyway, places we can't live is all about that idea of the Floridas, and it's
Vancouver's.
everybody wants to visit there, but for some reason I've always felt like I can't live in those places.
Yeah.
Places where it's like heightened experience. It's good for a time, but I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good for my soul long term. I need a little bit of roughage.
I was just assuming that you would say that. It may not be good for you. That's good. So you're playing a live show just for teachers. What is that about?
Hey,
Can you explain that? That's coming
yeah,
up,
well,
right?
it's coming up next Thursday night. Yeah, and it's a free show. It's if you go to my website vonbeaker.com, it's right there at the top. You can get a ticket.
So
It
we
is
can
free,
go.
but
We
you
can
need a
go for
ticket.
free and watch it.
You can go for free. Yeah. And it's a show that it's in Zoom. So the thing about I've done a couple shows in Zoom, and the neat thing about that is that, I can actually see everybody who's watching. So they can see me like we can do now, but I can actually see them and get my ego stroked by watching people applaud for me, which I really miss. So
Yeah.
but the teachers thing, I just watched in March, like we went on spring break and all of a sudden school was online, and I just couldn't imagine how hard that would be to flip that like that. And now here we are coming up to the fall, and all the teachers are scrambling again. School districts are changing plans, from day to day. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on in Rhode Island with schools, but here it's kind of we're going back to almost normal scenario, and people are really terrified about it, especially the teachers. So I thought, what can I do to say thank you for them? Because I having to have my kids home every day, man, I appreciate teachers now more than ever. It's a
Yeah.
hard job.
Well, they should have. They should get pay that a babysitter gets for those hours, and then their teacher salary. I mean, really, because
Yeah.
they're kind of babysitting them and helping them not get in fights and all that, and they're teaching them. So it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah. And now, here you got to try and go back to school, but also maintain social distancing and also clean all the surfaces between every class. And it's just crazy, and it's stressful. And the only thing I could think to offer was a night out for teachers to grab a glass of wine, grab a beer, grab a friend, and just have some live music together, and maybe just forget about all that for one night. So
That is a really cool idea. That is awesome. I would toast the teachers of Edmonton, but I'm all out of wine. I get another pour. That is awesome. What a great idea. How is it going with COVID out there? Really briefly, is it you guys having less and less people with it, or how is that working?
we had flattened our curve really well pretty early on, and then so we went into a relaunch, but we've now fattened our curve a little bit again, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh man, you think you can get rid of it, and then like 2 weeks goes by and like no deaths, and then like, okay, let's get out there and build the
Yeah.
economy up, and then all of a sudden there goes the COVID again.
Yeah, because none of us want it. I mean, we're all tired of it, of course, right? But really, nothing has changed. It hasn't gone anywhere. So, of course, it's just waiting for So we're under mandatory masks in public places here in Edmonton now, which is just as of August 1st, which I've gotten used to over time, and
What's your
life is
social
different, but
distancing like? Do you have to distance each other? Distance from each
yeah,
other?
yeah.
Interesting. There's a
How
song
is it
right there, right?
where you're at there?
We're 6 feet apart. In Rhode Island, it's no more than 15 people at a gathering. Outside is
15?
always better than inside. Dr. Fauci
Yeah,
said he's the guy in America,
yeah,
the doctor. So, outside's better than inside. 6 feet apart, no more than 15 people for Rhode Island. But there's some states that are abusing it and they don't care. I mean, biker rallies are showing up with
I saw that.
600 people just partying and burping and jumping in their Ford F-150s and having fun because we're free Americans. And
Yeah,
it's just aggravating. They can do what they want, but honestly, it's just going to perpetuate this thing. I think the
yeah,
world has changed. This isn't like a virus that hit us and then eventually it's just going to go away and it's gone. And wow, 2020, remember 2020? Remember when that was crazy? I think this is so powerful that it's just going to hang on this planet for a very long time. Could be another 4 years.
yeah. I sure hope not, or I hope we've got a vaccine sooner than that, anyways. But I mean, yeah, until that all that happens, right? It's going to be. I think that's what we're realizing now is we have to make adaptations and figure out how do we weather this for the long term. So like I've started doing more shows in Zoom and that sort of thing because people are, um, we take care of it's kind of the hierarchy of needs thing. Like we take care of our food and shelter and make sure we're safe and healthy and all that first, which is good and that's right and important. But I think I don't think people realize how much they're missing live music
Yeah,
and
right.
community and all those things, faith communities that can't be together, and all those things are such a huge part of health as well. So finding ways long term, if you like you say, if this is another matter of years, we're gonna have to find new ways to make those things a part of our lives instead of just saying, I'm gonna do without for that works for a few months, it doesn't work for a few years.
Right, and I think that was important that you said the faith communities, the music communities, art. I mean, we need art, we need music, we need to
Yeah.
spiritually commune, we need intellectual thought back and forth, sitting at a table. We need that. We're humans, I mean, fish live in schools, humans talk. We get together. I really
Yeah,
hope we.
otherwise we develop what's that phobia? Apoxophobia? Adoxophobia?
I will tell you in a second. Allodoxophobia. See, I forgot it
Yeah,
already.
we don't get together soon. We're all going to have allodoxophobia, Dave.
The
It's going to be
fear of
awful.
opinions, other people's opinions. Cool. You don't get that. You don't get anybody saying, I love that song, Dave, but if you could have done a little different thing on the end, no one ever critiques a musician, right?
Never. I was watching your show from last week. I thought that was hilarious. You guys were talking about the "you know what you should do" thing, which
Oh
is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
comment.
yeah, yeah. You
Every
should.
artist loves that
Who
comment.
was that? Who did I talk about in that?
He's like a blues musician, the Silks. I can't remember his name though.
Yes, the Silks. Right, right, right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what you should do? Right, right. Yeah, songwriting. Right. That was good. We got into a songwriting conversation. Listen, we're wrapping up. It's really good having you on the show, man. I feel like we're friends for life. If you are ever in the Rhode Island area, Boston, again, an hour north, New York, 3 hours south, you got to get through Saskatchewan. But you'll get to us. You've got a place. We've got a downstairs furnished apartment. You've got a place. Seriously, I mean that with all my heart.
That's awesome. Thanks,
Yep.
Dave. I hope that comes true. I'd love that.
And
I'd love to be just across the border again someday.
yeah, absolutely. Canadians, man, you guys are like the friendliest people. I can't imagine a Canadian walking into a store without a mask saying, "Oh yeah, you're taking away my rights," and the mask. Are they like that? They're not like that.
Dave, I don't know if it's better to tell you the truth or lie to you in this situation.
No, I want to
but
know the truth because Americans hear that Canadians are really, really nice, and we're assuming they would never disobey the law. I mean, if not that it's a law, it's a suggestion. Please wear the mask so we can kill this thing. And we're
Yeah.
dealing with people who are on both sides of it. So we're thinking Canadians are like the nicest people. They're going to get rid of COVID-19 way before anyone else in the world. The Swiss, the Swedes, and the Canadians are going to kill COVID. So tell me the truth. Lay it on me. I'm ready.
I wish that was true. I feel like it was true for a while, but in recent weeks there have been some. So we have a bylaw here in Edmonton, so it is a legal requirement in most places right now. And there are still, it's a minority, but it's of course very vocal minorities of people who are anti-mask. So we do have it here as well. I mean, I don't like doing it, but having done it for 2 weeks now, I really barely notice it at all, and it seems like a crazy thing to be up in arms about to me. But fear does crazy things to people.
Right.
Whether you're American or Canadian or whatever, fear is an ugly thing, and it brings ugliness out of us, unfortunately. And I don't think it matters where you are in the world. That's what this has done to us. It's brought the best out of us. And sometimes it's brought the worst out of us, unfortunately. So,
yeah, fear's like an invisible monster that like affects different people in different ways. So, you kind of we're seeing who people really are through this fear.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
listen,
a great revealer.
A big revealer. Thank you so much, everybody out there. Dave Von Bieker. Go to vonbieker.com. Follow him. Please follow him. Download the 2 songs he's got available. And, he's got a new album coming out. So do that. What else are you going to do? You're not going to go out to eat at a restaurant, right? Listen to some new music from a Canadian.
That's going to be my new marketing slogan, Dave. What else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
I should say too, if you have any other questions or anything for me, I'm pretty much an open book. So send me a message on through my Facebook page. I'd be happy to get back to you.
Yep, that's good. Bow tie selection, song selection. Dave is going to answer it for you.
Yeah, I can teach you how to tie a bow tie. Even I'd be willing. There's one step where you go behind, and the YouTube videos won't help you because as soon as they get around the back, it gets all blurry and dark. You can't tell what's going on. So,
do you actually teach this? Because yes, we need someone that can do a real good video on this.
I'm almost at the stage where I think I could. Yeah, I think I can tie it without looking in the mirror now. So it's been a long struggle, but I've made it.
What is it called? Is there a name for that? Like the Manhattan tie or whatever?
It's called the Von Bieker.
The Von Bieker. You patented it. So you have 2 brothers named Dave. So because you play out, you get to claim if you want to be Dave or David. You wear a tie. It's called the Von Bieker.
Yeah. If you say it, just say it and it's true. That's my philosophy.
Say it and it's true. Dave, you're the best, man. We're going to stay connected,
Thanks
okay?
so much.
Stay on the call
awesome.
in the back end. We're going to have the after party. And I am on to the next scene of Ecamm.
Boom.
Take care. Man, what a great guy. What a great guy. I feel like he's a best friend now. I just wish we didn't have COVID-19. My gosh. We could just be hanging out. We're having a fire on the beach tomorrow night, right on the bay. Oh my gosh, it's going to be great. Call me if you want to go to that, by the way. Right in Warwick, North Warwick Neck, Samuel Gorton Road, Samuel Gorton Drive, Samuel Gorton, I think it's the street. But we're going to have a fire on the beach for my business and Sal's business. Happy birthday again, Sal. You're the man. Thank you, Dave Von Bieker, for being on. Dave, I wish you could be on my fire on the beach party tomorrow night. That would be great. But that'd be many, 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 many miles to travel. Hey, I'm going to close out. It is 10:14, and I've got a closing joke. Yes, I've got a closing joke. I gave that up for a while because I wasn't feeling like I was funny. But, I'm feeling a little funny. So, before I go, I do have some parting words. What sits at the bottom of the ocean and twitches? What sits at the bottom of the ocean and twitches? How about a nervous wreck? A nervous wreck? A nervous wreck. Tune in next week. Don't want to miss it.